To live is to risk. To avoid risk is to avoid life. Empowerment is not the reduction of risk, but the increase of capacity in its presence. The goal is not to get to the top of Mount Everest, it is to be powerful in the face of Everest. An elevator to the summit would remove the mountain, not climb it. The hero does not avoid danger, the hero stands free with it. Risk is the measure of reality's participation in your declaration. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the refusal to reduce life to a game of safety. Power is the capacity to act in the face of uncertainty without the guarantee of success. Life is the condition in which there are no guarantees. The empowered being does not calculate outcomes, they generate possibilities. Responsibility is not guilt, it is not fault, it is not causation. To be responsible is to stand as cause in the matter, not to confess, but to declare. Responsibility is a place to stand, not a statement of blame. When you say, "I am responsible," you give yourself the power to intervene in what is. You cannot take responsibility as an argument, only as a declaration. Declaration is the act that creates the world. Responsibility is freedom spoken aloud. I am cause in the matter. It is not a moral judgment, it is an ontological stance. To declare responsibility is to reclaim authorship from circumstance. Blame imprisons you in the story. Responsibility opens you to creation. A stand without a domain is a position. Positions are defenses. Stands are generative. The domain of possibility is invented. It does not exist until you speak it. A stand without the domain of possibility is mere posturing. Possibility begins where positions end. A position points toward, a stand embodies. To work toward a goal is to remain inside time. To stand for a possibility is to step outside it. Possibility is not achieved, it is realized. You are free to realize whatever you are willing to stand for. A stand transforms, a position argues. Declaration generates the future. The world is not discovered, it is declared. The master umpire says, "They ain't anything until I call them something." So too the being nothing is until you say it is. Declarations are not descriptions of fact, but announcements of freedom. Assertions, reports, declarations create. Declaration is not about what is, it is about what is possible. To declare is to give being a name. When you declare I am responsible, you are inventing the self that can act. The power of declaration lies not in truth, but in authorship. The realm of possibility is the realm of freedom. The realm of responsibility and the realm of possibility are one and the same. Most people never enter it. They argue about the world instead of creating it. Possibility cannot be found, it must be invented. You cannot receive possibility, you must stand for it. What you will get out of the forum of life is what you are willing to stand for. No one can give you anything of value. You give yourself what you are willing to declare as yours. Others give you chicken shit, the rest you generate. The gift is the power to create what cannot be given. A hero is not extraordinary. A hero is an ordinary person who accepts the call of a possibility greater than himself. Heroism is not about achievement, but about listening to the voice of what could be. The heroic act is not conquest, but acceptance. The hero does not control events, they stand in relation to them. The hero lives in possibility, not ambition. To answer the call of a possibility larger than yourself is to transcend the self altogether. The hero does not defeat fate, they enter dialogue with it. The ordinary becomes luminous when seen through the eyes of a declaration. The heroic is the everyday seen from the altitude of responsibility. Generosity is not a virtue, it is an act of being. You do not have generosity, you are generous when you act from possibility. Generosity arises in the space created by declaration. To love is not to feel, it is to stand in the clearing where the other is free. Love begins when ought to ends. The artist who paints from love, not duty, participates in the divine economy of creation. The declaration, I love you, is not report, it is world making. Completion is relationship. Completion in relationships is a declaration, not a reconciliation. They are okay by me is not a description, it is a liberation. Completion occurs when you say so, freely, not in order to. In order to is the grammar of control. For itself is the grammar of being. Every in order to eludes a fear of uncertainty. To live in order to is to live transactionally, not informationally. The shift from in order to for itself is the beginning of joy. Happiness is not contingent on achievement. It is the expression of being. When happiness is no longer contingent, love and power converge. Joy in just being is the final rebellion against the machinery of justification. To dominate is to lose power, to love is to gain it. Power is the self-realization in the world, not control over it. Freedom is not the absence of limitation, but the presence of declaration. Freedom cannot be coerced, it must be spoken. Every declaration presupposes freedom. Every freedom manifests a declaration. To declare is to accept the risk of being. The declaration, I am responsible, is the highest exercise of freedom. Power is the ability to act without the need for certainty. You do not need to know how, you need only to declare that you are. Freedom arises when you stop seeking permission. Power is not assurance, it is participation. The only guarantee is that there are no guarantees. Empowerment is not knowledge, it is relation to risk. The empowered being does not avoid the storm, they speak within it. The mountain remains, what changes your stance. Empowerment is not control, but coherence with being. To be empowered is to say yes to the risk called life. It's not that everything will be all right, it's that you will have power in the face of what is. To seek all right is to miss the point. The power of being is not comfort, but presence. The empowered life is not safe, but it is free. To declare I am in the face of risk is the summit itself. Build a square, stand in it. Every transformation requires a bounded field of attention. The square is not a belief, but a lens. It exists only while you look through it. Every square defines a world, each world defines a possibility. Standing differently is seeing differently. If standing there empowers you, keep it. If not, destroy it. Possibility is measured by empowerment, not correctness. Ontology begins as geometry. To draw a square is to carve a space from being to appear. The act of standing in the square precedes the act of understanding. The body knows before the mind agrees. You cannot think your way into authenticity, you must stand your way into it. Authenticity begins with being authentic about your inauthenticity. The first truth is the confession that one lives in untruth. To present yourself one way and be another is inauthentic. Authenticity names the alignment between presentation and presence. Intention is irrelevant to authenticity. The mask is inauthentic whether it is worn or on purpose or not. The authentic person owns the lie without excuse. Ownership ends the compulsion to defend. Authenticity does not exclude deceit, it includes awareness of deceit. The liar who knows she lies is closer to truth than the saint who denies his falseness. Being authentic about being inauthentic is freedom. Ownership unties the knot of guilt. You cannot be anything you are forced to be. Compulsion cancels identity. To say I am a liar without self-hatred is the first act of liberation. The paradox of truth-telling begins there. Authenticity is not virtue, but visibility. It exposes rather than redeems. The beginning of honesty is the end of sincerity. Sincerity belongs to story. Authenticity belongs to being. Language does not describe being, it enacts it. Every word spoken in awareness transforms the world that speaks. All thinking is playing with words. The question is whether you play consciously. To know language is not to speak many tongues, but to perceive the structure of thought within speech. Speaking is an ontological event, not a social transaction. Every utterance opens or closes the clearing of being. A conversation about authenticity is the performance of authenticity. When speech mirrors being, the dialogue becomes ceremony. Inauthenticity is not error, it is concealment. The work is not to correct, but to reveal. To understand language is to perceive its boundaries as thresholds, not walls. To understand language is to perceive its boundaries as thresholds, not walls.